Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of the Vaulted Visions podcast. My name is William Laterza. You can find this podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, as well as williamlaterza.net, where you can find more information and more content of mine. Before I introduce my awesome guest, that is Paige Harvey today, I want to talk a little bit about myself and why I'm starting the Vaulted Visions podcast. So, a little bit about me is that I'm a third-year student at Ohio University studying broadcast journalism. And I'm making this podcast as a way for me to document my interesting friends and coworkers, see what they're doing, see what their interests are, and then also kind of just set in stone what we were thinking at certain times so that 5 to 10 years from now I can look back and see, the progression of people's careers and interests and see where it all goes to. So without further ado, I have my awesome guest, that is Paige Harvey. Paige, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Doing great.
Good.
So, with every person I bring onto this show, I'm going to ask them this question, and that is, who are you today? It can be as simple or as deep as you want it to be, but who are you today?
I would say I'm a more independent person than I was. I'm a lot stronger and more confident in myself. I'm pretty passionate about what I do, and I'm just excited about living life.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know who Paige is, she is going into her first year at UC as a education major. But more importantly, and the reason why I brought her on here is because she also has a business. She does what a lot of high schoolers I don't really think do, and that is make a photography business out of it. A lot of people I know, and this is something I have to commend you on, is a lot of people that I know, they have photography accounts and they want to be photographers when they grow up, but they don't know how to put it actually into a business and make it practical. And you seem to do that, and you're just doing it as a side hobby, something you really enjoy, just growing and making money while you're doing it. So tell me a little bit about your business.
Okay, so I started about a year and a half ago taking pictures of one of my friends. We just went to downtown Lebanon and took pictures. And it was really fun. I really liked how they turned out. She liked how they turned out. And I was like, I should start doing this more often. Because before then, I had taken pictures of my American Girl dolls as a kid and other toys. I used to love making videos with my dolls playing. And so I really have always been into taking pictures and videos. I mainly do pictures now, but I've done both just more casually. So I started taking pictures of more people. And then, as interest grew, I started out with, a really low rate because I was I just want to see, if I'm any good at this. And I guess I am. So I, raised my rates. And actually, when I raised my rates, I got a lot more business, which is, kind of a weird dynamic.
I wouldn't expect that at all.
Yeah. So, I guess because it's more legit. So people are okay, this is legit. I'm going to actually, try this out. Because it's a teenager taking pictures. That's the hardest thing I've gone through with the business is people saying oh, she's a teenager so she's not as experienced or good as other photographers.
But it's all about the vision, really.
Yeah. So
just having the eye for good photography.
Right. Yeah.
And that's one thing I noticed real quick, because I kind of started following your page early on. When you were just kind of starting out, and one thing that really caught my eye was just how you have a knack for it. The technology and your editing might not quite have been there at the time, but you showed constant growth, really, and also your the poses are pretty professional in itself. And I like how you incorporate elements of your background, your foreground into the photo and make it have multiple layers to it. I always feel like you have a more of a dynamic sense with your environment rather than just something stale, and I'm that's quality right there.
Yeah.
So back to your roots and your beginning. You said that you've always had a camera around. Did you just did your parents have a VCR tape or something that you used, or what type of camera did you have?
Mainly, I mean, they did have one of those, and I used it occasionally, but mainly I was just on my iPod taking videos, so nothing professional.
Okay.
Or just we did have a camera that I would use. I don't even remember, it was a really junky camera, but and I would use it to take pictures. And then like 2 years ago, I was like, I want a good camera to take pictures. And so I got myself a good camera.
What is that camera?
A Canon Rebel T6i.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, and I really like that camera. It's really nice. And I have 2 different lenses that I use.
It's a durable camera too. Those are meant to last like 5 to 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also kind of like the beauty in photography too, is like the core elements of it stay the same really.
Yeah.
So like you could have a 10-year-old camera and it'll look practically the same as a new camera. It just kind of matters on what lenses you're using. But like photography is all about the style, and you certainly present that. I myself, since I do a lot of video stuff, I didn't touch a camera, like a legit camera, till I was 16. So I never really showed interest as a kid to like do photography or video or anything like that. But it seems like you've always had it though, as like a little side hobby or passion.
Yeah.
So I've never had that, and I got my first smartphone when I was like 16 as well. So it was like right before I got my car. That's crazy though that there's such a difference.
Yeah.
Let me look at my notes here. So your business is Smileatmylens, right?
Yes.
And how did you come up with that name, and what's kind of the origin for the business? Like, when did you kind of establish that was going to be a business?
Yeah. So for a while it was Paige's Photography, which I felt like was kind of, I don't want to say childish, but like it wasn't quite what I wanted it to be. So I was like, I'm gonna come up with something that incorporates like what I'm about, but also like that more people can be included in this business, because I don't want it to just be myself. Like I've added a couple people to my team.
I am one of those
yes,
people.
You're one of those
I technically work for Paige.
Yes. So I wanted to be like, well, it's not just my photography. It's like other people's and the people I photograph. So I changed it and to Smileatmylens, which I just thought was like friendly and fun, but also like more professional. And
it's easier to market too.
Yeah.
Like it's a catchy name.
Yeah.
You're able to remember it better.
Yeah.
How did you make the leap, I guess, from, just doing personal stuff to trying to compete with well-established photography people, especially in the Greater Cincinnati area?
Yeah.
You do, for people who don't know, Paige does a lot of high school graduate photography, senior photos, engagement photos, family photos. Paige does a wide variety of different photography stuff, and it's more commercialized and business related. A lot of high schoolers I see and college students, they try to make it like super artsy, and you're able to like actually sell it. How were you able to make that jump from going to just personal photography to like competing against other brands? And what was like your mindset, I guess, when you were doing all that?
Yeah. I just was really passionate about it, and I still am passionate about it. And I was like, well, I want to turn my passion into something more than just a hobby. And the best way to do that is to pursue like something greater and like not like, I don't want to say like compete with everyone else. Well, I mean, it is kind of competing with everyone else, but like get up there with other photographers and see what I can do and how I can make it. And also like the style of my photography is kind of like, it's dynamic and like it's like artsy and different, but it's still like,
you can still sell it.
Yes. It's not like, oh, that's just like a picture you'd see on the cover of a magazine. Like, this is a senior picture that you would want, but it's not just in front of like a blue background or whatever. So that's something that I really enjoy about doing the photography. And I was like, that's what some people look for that, some people don't, but a lot of people do, and so I want to market to those people.
Just the lowest common denominator, get as many people as possible.
Yeah.
You've had a tough spell for your business right now with the coronavirus pandemic going on. We stayed our distance, so there is no need to worry about that, and taking our precautions. But with coronavirus going on, it's hit pretty much every business, including photography. What have you been doing during this like coronacation? Like, have you been learning different skills, practicing? What all have you been doing?
Yeah, so I have been like remodeling my website going back to some branding things, just doing a bunch of things to get back to like marketing myself and improving, asking other people's where can I improve. And I've done some interview things with people that I've photographed before, just seeing like how can I improve, how's your experience, that kind of thing. But I have been going and like practicing more, getting into a new style. I've been experimenting with like different editing, trying to improve on my editing because I know that's a big component that people look for in photos.
What exactly about your editing are you trying to improve on?
Okay, so right now, or like previously, my editing, like I didn't do very much. It was very like natural or very colorful photos, and a lot of people want a more relaxed sort of, like it like looks edited but not where you can tell it's like super edited.
It still looks natural, but it's like edited to look more relaxed.
Yes, and like a little bit like muted tones, the little more like golden skin tone, that sort of thing. So I've been trying to like incorporate some of those things while staying true to what I like with my photos. So like some mix of both.
It really sounds like during this break you kind of taken a minute or so to like step back, realize what all you could do to rebrand, and now you're kind of like pivoting into a more advantageous spot to rebrand yourself in the best way you can. And you've developed a plan for sure. You brought on a team of people to help you. It seems like you've definitely made the right move, or at least a step in a better direction to help your business out. Another question I have for you is, how does your process work for if someone was a customer and they wanted to buy your photos or like go on a photo shoot with you? How does that work?
So I have a form on my website you can use, or like someone can use to sign up for a photo shoot with like selecting the package they want with the prices there, what kind of time, what kind of location, all of that sort of stuff. Or you can just send me a DM on my Instagram and we'll just go from there. And then normally I send the pictures digitally, like normally just through someone's iPhone, like from my, like I'll download the pictures onto my phone when they're all done, and put them through like shared drives or something like that, whatever is best for the other people. So it's normally like, it's pretty easy for people to get access to the photos, and it's a fun time.
What's your favorite part about photography? Like if there's one specific thing, whether that be the editing or like poses or whatever, like what's your favorite part about photography?
I mean, I want to say there's like two things. So like the people, interacting with the people and like getting to know the people as I take pictures of them, but also just framing a shot, like making it look really nice and like deciding like, okay, this spot would be a really cool place to take a photo, and then going and taking a photo.
So if you're like going on a run or a bike ride or whatever, you're just
I do that all the time.
You got like a notes page or something on your phone.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And then what's like the hardest part for you for taking photos? Because for me at least, I've done a little bit of like commercial portrait photography, and the hardest part for me is telling people like what type of pose to be in. When I'm doing it, like I'm pretty well at using the camera and finding good spots, but like for poses, I'm like, do whatever you want. I'll just take photos, but I don't know how to get the poses right. So like, what's your hardest part?
Probably more after the photos are taken, like deciding exactly how I want to edit each photo, because that's like, I'm like really particular, but also like I want it to look a certain way, and then I like keep switching it up, and so like that's the hardest part for me. And poses can be hard sometimes if like they're like not really willing to do like a pose, or they're just like, or if the person's like not as comfortable, like making sure they feel comfortable and like getting them to laugh and smile like naturally is like, it's not hard, but that like
it's a skill set.
It's something that I've had to learn.
Making people feel comfortable enough to take their photo and make it look good.
Yeah, exactly.
And then for anyone out there that's listening that's interested in business or being an entrepreneur, what are some lessons that you've learned or things you've picked up from starting a business? It doesn't have to be related to photography, but what are some like key things you've learned from starting up your business?
Yeah, the first thing is like don't get discouraged, because I know like I've had some ups and downs with my photography business and like comparing myself with other people, but like just stay true to yourself, stay true to like what you do. Like if you're passionate about it, it'll work out, and if it doesn't, like you're still passionate about it, so you're not wasting your time, if that makes sense. So
it's just something you enjoy doing.
And you have to just get started small. Like don't do a giant leap, but just like I was like, I'm just gonna go take pictures of this person today and see how they turn out. And then I downloaded better editing apps, started really simple, researched more, just starting simple and then growing bigger.
Okay, so you took more of an approach of staying in your own lane.
Yeah.
Just focusing on yourself and then taking baby steps to eventually get to where you're at now. Yeah. Do you have any like inspiration that you pull from? Like, is there like a magazine or something that you look at, or different like Instagrammers or YouTube tutorials? Like, is there anything you pull inspiration from, or is it pretty much all just natural, like keen eye for how things look?
It's pretty much just like natural keen eye, I guess, because like I'm not really looking at poses or anything while I'm taking pictures. I'm just like, I think this would look good, and like with this setting and stuff like that. Some of the editing I do take some inspiration on, like, because like of what's popular, what are people really into right now. I can't really think of anything particular, like any particular person, but just like different social media posts, what people are posting on Instagram, just like girls my age, like what do they like their photos to be edited as. So,
all right. And then the last question I have for you is, where do you see yourself and your business in the future, whether that be 5 to 10 years from now, a year from now? Where do you see yourself and your business?
I hope, since I'm going into education, I can be a teacher, and in the summers, like, do my photography business. So I have, like, people I teach or, like, people in my community coming to me to take their senior pictures and other family photos. So I hope it's, like, a side career, just like teachers a lot of times have a summer job. Like, I hope that's my summer job, but then I work on it all around.
That's awesome. And are you trying to teach high schoolers, or what's your ideal, like, subject to teach, grade?
I would love to teach, like, well, it's middle education, so 4 through 9. Anywhere in there I love, so, because I've done student teaching. And then I'm doing English and social studies, but I hope I can incorporate some, like, fun art stuff into that as a teacher, so. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's incredible. Do you see your business competing with, like, more amateur photographers too? Because phone cameras have kind of evolved a lot. And I meant to ask this earlier, but, you know, a lot of people are considering themselves like photographers now because phones have gotten a lot better with their camera quality, and a lot of them are even better than the cameras that we have right now.
Yeah.
How are you going to innovate your business in the future to kind of stay ahead of that curve and just stay ahead of, like, the evolution of camera equipment?
Yeah, so, I mean, basically, I think it's about how you take the pictures, not necessarily, like, the camera you use to take the pictures. Like, it really helps to have a good camera, but, like, some people just, like, they take a picture and they're like, that looks like a
photography page because of this,
I don't know, like, it just depends how you frame the picture and how it looks. It's not necessarily the camera, it's more just, like, your eye for seeing things, and also how you make people feel, and, like, as you take the pictures, and how the photo makes other people feel.
I feel like you embody that yourself, making good conversation with people, get them less nervous. Before we go, do you have any shout outs, any last comments or things you want to say? What's your website for your business, first off, so people can access it, or Instagram?
Yeah, Smileatmylens with 2 S's at the end. .weebly.com, and then my Instagram is Smileatmylens. And
is that 1 S or 2 S's?
1.
Okay.
A little complicated, I know. I'm trying to get off of Weebly.
I'll have the links for these posted in the description, so no need to worry about that.
But yeah, photography has just been something that's gotten me through lots of really hard times. It's a very creative outlet for me, so I've just always loved doing it. And it's fun when something you love doing, someone else, like, is interested in too. So
And
really
you
fun.
get to have a little side money from that as
Yeah.
well. But it's been great having you on, Paige. I've really appreciated it. Thanks to everyone that's been listening to this podcast. So I'll have more episodes in the future to come, but that's about it. I'll have your shout outs in the description below. But,
Alrighty.
yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Woo!